Hey, welcome back, Mitchell Road Mustang. So today we're going to do a little bit different and just do our entire lab outdoors. Today we're going to study bubble technology, and bubbles can help us study lots of things in science. Lots of different concepts like elasticity, you know, how something will pull and push, surface tension, chemistry. When we mix different things together, we get something completely different. When we get those molecules together, they act differently. It helps us learn about how light travels through our atmosphere. It also helps us know a lot about how geometry of a bubble works. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And your goal today is to make an observation, experiment, and investigate once you do this lab. So really quickly, we're going to go ahead and go over what you're going to need to make these bubbles. Okay? So the thing you're going to need is you're going to go ahead and you're going to need some Dawn liquid soap. You're going to need some glycerin, and your parents will know this. We usually use this for cooking and mixing colors when you're baking. So you're going to need some glycerin. You're also going to need some cornstarch, and of course you're going to need some water. Okay? You're going to need a measuring cup, 1 cup measuring cup, a half a cup measuring cup, and a 1/4 of a cup. And when you make your bubble maker, okay, you're going to need some sticks. If you don't have sticks, I want you to go ahead and use some straws. You can use straws, you can use sticks, you can use skewers. Whatever you have in your home, you're going to need those. You're going to need a cotton piece of rope that's made out of cotton. And if you get this and you buy, sometimes you buy rope that's made out of cotton, it'll say cotton, but when you look at inside it, and I split this one a little bit, so let me show you. This was a rope that I bought, and then when you look inside it, if you split it a little bit, you can see that on the inside, it has a little bit of a filler made out of cotton as well. And what you want to do is, if you can, you want to get your parents to help you pull that out if you can't find just plain cotton rope, because you really want that out of there, and that's going to help your bubbles be more efficient. Do you see that? That's not cotton. That's made out of polyester. So the inside of it's polyester. So you just want to pull it out until you can get it all the way out. Let me try to pull this one out. There we go. And see, it comes right out, and then your rope becomes nice and skinny. And that's all the cotton that you need. Okay, so you're going to need 1 large piece of rope. Or if you don't have a large piece of rope, then you want to get 3 pieces, okay? So what we want to do is we want to create a type of triangle. So we're going to go ahead and take either your stick or your straw, and what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and tie it on one end. You're going to give it 1 loop, then another, and then you're going to tie it so it doesn't come apart. So can you see that? Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead, and you're going to need a washer just to weigh it down. It can be any type of washer. It needs a good size. This is a pretty good size washer. That's usually what I use in the lab, boys and girls. So we're going to go ahead and put it inside our rope, and we'll put it right through. And set it. So there I got my piece, and I'm going to go ahead and weigh it down, get my second straw. Can you see that, boys and girls? Now I have like a little V with my little weigh washer in the middle. I'm going to get my straw, and then I'm going to loop that around my straw or my stick twice, and then again I'm going to tie it like so. So what I'm trying to create is something that it's just a complete triangle without breaking it. Do you see that? So now I have that piece that's hanging down, and I'm going to go ahead and take it, and I'm going to tie it to the other side, making sure that I have a complete triangle when I do that. So this is going to be my bubble maker. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and tie this piece to the beginning of my straw. Make sure that you give it a couple loops, just to make sure that it doesn't come apart when you're having fun. All right, So there you have it. This is going to be your bubble maker, okay? So there we have our bubble maker. And then, now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and take our water, your six cups of water. So your 6 cups of water, so 6 of these big cups. You're going to do a half a cup of your dishwashing soap. And then you're going to do about 2 tablespoons of your glycerin, okay? And that's going to be one of your solutions. So you can do that in one of the solutions. And as you can see, I mixed those up and put it in this container. And then you're going to repeat your solution so you can have and compare your mixture, okay, your chemistry, and see the molecules and the changes in what you're using. So the next mixture, you're going to go ahead and do, again, 6 cups of water on this mixture. And then you're going to use half a cup of your soap, a fourth of a cup of your glycerin, and a fourth of a cup of cornstarch. So one of your solutions will have cornstarch and one will not. And that way you can compare and see what happens to the bubbles. So let's talk a little bit about why do bubbles pop? Well, other than the fact that when they hit something sharp, they'll pop, bubbles will pop when the water between, you have molecules of your soap and whatever other liquids you're using, and they'll hug the air between them. And so when the molecules shrink up in between the surface film of the soap and the water evaporates, that's when you get that pop, okay? So I want you to think about that. I also want you to think about when you make your bubble, why is it colorful? Why is there color all around that big, beautiful bubble? Well, we know that light travels through our atmosphere, and that bubble is reflecting, the air is reflecting that light on our bubble. So I want you to think about that. So let me think, what else did I want to tell you about this? I think that's about it. I want you to try it. I want you to think about what happens to molecules. Remember, those water molecules and whatever other liquids that you're mixing kind of create a really tiny, very, very small, tiny molecules. You know, we've talked about them. They're really see-through. They're really tiny. You cannot see them unless you use a microscope. So they're hugging the air, and that's what creates that beautiful bubble. Okay? Also, I want you to think about, and this will be my challenge to you, and I want you to think about when you make a bubble, or when you make your bubble maker, for example, clearly it's a triangle. So I want you to think about what shape should the bubble be. Shouldn't it be a triangle? And why isn't it a triangle? That's your challenge, to figure that out, okay? And we'll talk a little bit about that. And I know we talked a little bit of that before in class, but hopefully you'll remember that. So if I have a little shape like this, and I put it in my solution, this is my solution with cornstarch, and that's my solution without. And I blow on it. It should have been a triangle, but it was not. It was a sphere. So why? What do you think? Think about it. So the tension in the bubble, in the skin of the bubble, let me do that one more time, will shrink to the smallest possible shape and volume, okay? And what happens when it does that, it seals that, and it'll create a beautiful sphere. All right, so let's try our bubble maker. I hope you enjoy this, boys and girls. So let's try with the cornstarch. We're going to try the cornstarch first and see if we can get what type of bubble we can get. So I'm going to pull it up. Let's see. cornstarch looks like it makes really nice, beautiful, big bubbles. And they seem to be really long-lasting. And I would suggest, boys and girls, that you make this and you let your solution sit overnight so it'll make those big, huge bubbles that will last a long time. Do you see that atmospheric light reflecting on your bubble? Oh, that beautiful color? All right. Whew. So let me go ahead and grab our solution without the cornstarch. Now the one that without this cornstarch, I'd like you to let it sit overnight or at least 3 hours. Okay? So let's get that and see what happens. I already can tell that it seems like it pops a lot faster, so we'll see. I don't know. Which one makes the longer lasting bubble? This one definitely has a lot more height. Look at that. Let's try that one more time. I don't know that I can see a lot of difference, but maybe you can record in your journal if you see a lot of difference in your bubbles. So, the one without the cornstarch and the one with cornstarch. So remember, bubbles can teach us a lot about chemistry, reflection of light, atmospheric pressure. We can go on. And we will go over a lot of this when I see you next time. Thank you, boys and girls, for joining me for this amazing bubble lab. I will see you guys next time.